Hey everybody, Steven here. Today looking at the Air 3 wireless earbuds from SoundPEATS. So the company reached out to me. It's been a while since I've done a video review on some wireless earbuds. I've actually reviewed their H1 and it is a really good pair of wireless earbuds. And it's actually one of the few that I've kept because I've reviewed so many. I've kept the H1 and like one pair of ball tunes. And so with this, I want to talk about the specs first before I start talking about my experience and my thoughts on this. So we're going to actually cover that really quick, and then we'll get into the good and bad when it comes to this product. So let's jump to the specs.
The Air 3 wireless earbuds have the Qualcomm QCC 3040 chip with Bluetooth 5.2 and true wireless mirroring technology to ensure a seamless connection and ultra-low power consumption. These have 14.2mm bio-compound diaphragm drivers inside that offer great bass and make this one of the loudest earbuds I've used to date. This is equipped with aptX adaptive codec supporting 24 bits at up to 420 kHz to optimize your experience by keeping audio sync with media and adjusting to provide glitch-free wireless audio. The earbuds have in-ear detection, so they sense when you put them in your ear and start playing your music, and then pause automatically when you take them out of your ear. These have 4 microphones, one on the bottom of each, and then one towards the top under the SoundPEATS logo on each. This offers Qualcomm's CVC noise reduction technology to help improve the quality of your voice on calls and reduce background noise. This offers a game mode by triple tapping the left earbud, which cuts down on latency to as low as 60 milliseconds for the earbuds and 80 milliseconds for the entire link. These have 5 hours of playtime per charge and offer 2.5 recharges with the case for a total of 17.5 playtime hours. The charge time is 1 to 2 hours with no QuickTime, unfortunately, even though this does have the USB Type-C port and charging cable that it comes with. The earbuds themselves are extremely lightweight, weighing just 0.14 ounces each, making these some of the lightest wireless earbuds I've used to date. One of the things that I've noticed missing from the Amazon listing as well as the package is the IPX rating. Most of the ones I've tested have been somewhere between 5 and all the way up to 8, meaning they are sweat and dust resistant with this. I'm assuming this is going to be the same with this product as well. I just don't know what the official rating is though. This is currently listed for $49.99 on Amazon with a 10% off coupon, and I'll have a link for this in the description so you can find that there. So that covers these specs. Let's cut back now so I can talk about my experience with these so far and then what I like and dislike about these wireless earbuds.
Alright, so now I want to talk about my experience and my thoughts on these after actually spending a little over a week with them. So setup is quick and easy to do. You actually just open these up. You open up the Bluetooth on your phone and it should pop up and it just immediately connects. I haven't really had any issues with any of the wireless earbuds that I've actually tested and used with that. They all connect really easy, and this follows suit, so that's always a plus. With actually testing these out, I did make sure that I did a handful of different activities. So I went and did a workout, and I tried to actually with that workout make sure that I did a bunch of different movements because I wanted to make sure that these would actually stay in my ear, because with these they are extremely light, right? They're that 0.14 ounces each. And so when you initially put them in, at least for me, it feels like, one, they're not really there. And then two, when you kind of feel them, it almost feels like they're going to fall out of your ear. So coming from a wireless earbud that actually has a rubber tip, or in the case of the H1, like the foam tip that I really like, that creates a better hold in the ear, at least in terms of feel. It also seals your ear off. So with that, the ambient noise around you, it actually blocks that. And one of the things that I've mentioned with other wireless earbuds that do have that is, if I go on a bike ride, for instance, I almost have to pull one out because the blocking of any type of ambient noise around you, the noise cancellation with that, actually for me is a little bit dangerous because I need to hear if there's any cars around me or anything like that. So I end up taking one out. With this, they fit in the ear really well. Testing it out, doing workouts. I actually had to paint the bathroom and the house, so I actually did some painting and then doing some yard work. It wasn't an issue. They never fell out. They actually feel snug in the ear. They're so light they feel like they're not there. Or like I said, they're almost touching the ear a little bit, so it feels loose, but it's not. It's kind of odd, but once you adapt to it, because I'm coming from ones that actually have the rubber tips, it's fine. It's not an issue. Like I said, you actually forget that they're even there. And considering that they don't actually like have the rubber tip to seal off the ear, these are like the loudest wireless earbuds I've ever used. Like the max with this is too much. Like I don't know if you'd ever use it. It's blaring, right? It's so much. So I talked about the airplane tests. This would pass that with flying colors. It's so loud. And in the airplane test, if you haven't watched my other videos, what I think about when I'm trying these out is if I'm in an airplane, which has that low hum to it, and usually you're cranking up the volume on whatever headset, can you still hear whatever you're listening to, music, movies, whatever, and not have an issue, right? Because I've had some of them where it's like, man, they just don't get quite loud enough. So if I was on an airplane, I probably would barely hear it. This, no issue at all. Like I said, one of the loudest wireless earbuds I've actually ever tested. So past flying colors with that. I think the rubber tips may be an issue for some people. I will talk about that here in a little bit. It does have the touch controls, although with the touch controls, some of these, it seems like they kind of all have the same. I've noticed it's like you tap it once to play, you tap it twice to skip a song, 3 times to do whatever. They kind of have all followed a general outline that's the same in terms of how you actually utilize the touch features. This one was a little bit different. So for instance, I think if you tap it once, it turns the volume up. Usually that's not the case. I think it's like usually you have to tap it 3 times for it to do that. So little things like that, you may have to adapt to them, but they actually outline in the manual all the different touch controls. So you can look at that for a second and then you'll generally figure it out on your own. So that's across the board with any of those. I'm still getting used to touch features with this. And then calls. So the CBC noise cancellation. So making calls, it will always sound, at least in my opinion, until they come up with some crazy new tech, like you're on a device. So 2 microphones are great, but it still sounds like you are on some type of device because the microphone isn't directly close to your mouth like it would be if you were holding a phone or if you had wired earbuds where the microphone you could hold it close to your mouth. So the CVC technology in this, that noise cancellation, so my fan on my computer is really loud when I have it turned up. So making calls in here, you can't even hear it. If I turn it up right now with this video, it would actually dominate the sound in the video because it is very, very loud. Going outside isn't an issue or anything like that. And now if you're in a room that's extremely noisy, it's gonna present an issue. But if there's ambient noise around you, it doesn't really create any type of issue, which is really, really nice. So you can have a good call on these without having any problem. Just keep in mind, regardless of any of the ones I've tested, it does still sound like you're on some type of device with this. Game mode. So you tap, I think, the left one 3 times to turn on game mode. The low latency, I don't game on my phone a ton, so I didn't notice a difference. I did game on my phone. I played, I think, PUBG, and turned it on, played for a while, and then turned it off and played for a while. I didn't notice a difference between the two. So it's a nice feature that it's there. I don't personally notice a difference. So if you are a person that does game a lot on their phone, you may notice a bigger difference than I notice. And the 60 milliseconds, it's the same with the H1 that had a game mode as well. A lot of the other wireless earbuds that I've tested, if they do have a game mode, it's the same thing. I've generally seen 60 milliseconds in terms of reducing any type of latency with that. So it sounded good on both, but if you are a gamer, it may be a draw for you. So that actually kind of brings me to the end here, which is overall, I'm extremely pleased with these. They are different than the ones I have kept. The ones I've kept between the ball tone and the H1, they have the rubberized tip, or in case of the H1, it has the foam tip. So the fit in the ear is different. They're also the small earbuds versus the stick that this has. So what do you want? Do you want one that has a rubber tip, fits in the ear, has more noise cancellation in that regard, and it's smaller? Or do you want something that's like this, that looks more like an Apple AirPod, which I don't like to necessarily make that comparison, but it's kind of hard not to because it does look like that, but that also comes with a very hefty price tag, where this is only the $50 and you still get a discount. So I think that is going to be something that you need to, do you want the tip or not the tip? Do you want it to have kind of the long stick with it, or do you want it to be more of like a small earbud in your ear? That also affects the weight, because those are typically heavier than this. This is a lot lighter. With that as well, do you need a game mode? Do you not need a game mode? Is that not a draw for you? So that could be something that impacts your decision as well. Battery life. This is extremely light, not only with the earbud itself, but with the case. And that also means that the recharges that you get, right? 17 and a half hours in total playtime if you actually go through all of the charges. That is a lot smaller in the amount than some of the other ones. Some of the ball tunes you may find are 30, 40, 50. If you get like a Vankyo one that I actually reviewed, I think that ended up having like 100 hours. It was ridiculous, but the case is so heavy. It is very, very heavy. So is that something that may impact your decision? Do you need something lighter? It doesn't matter. You need more battery life, right? Do you need a quick charge feature? This doesn't have that. So that may impact your decision. It's USB Type-C, but without having that quick charge feature, I don't know if you plug it in for 10 minutes, how much do you actually get in terms of that, the replay with that, right? You get to use it for 30 minutes if you charge it for 10 minutes. I don't really have that stat. They don't actually showcase any of that because it doesn't have that quick charge feature. I would still assume you get a decent chunk of time, but it may not be like some of them where, hey, you charge it for 10 minutes, you get 2 hours of replay time with this. So something else to potentially consider with this. I do like this as a different option for the earbuds that I'm used to. If I want something that is light, a little bit easier to travel with in that regard, they're really, really light in my ear, so I can actually wear them for a longer period of time than I can the other ones. Because the rubber tip, even though it feels fine, about an hour, a little over an hour, like I'm good. It starts to ache and I need to pull it out. This, I can wear this for a lot longer than that. Matter of fact, my workout was over an hour with these. I didn't film the whole time, but just setting up to film, working out for a little bit, then stopping, then continuing my workout. I had these in for over an hour, and you literally forget that they're there. So you just have to consider all those different variables and what is the right thing for you, what's the big draw for you, and then as you kind of look at that, you can start to slowly kind of shift all these things down to maybe the couple that you think would work best. And if you're wanting something that's light in the ear, extremely loud, decent on the calls, and has a game mode and a good price tag, then this is going to be one that you should consider, in my opinion. So I definitely will end up keeping these as a different option to the ones that have the rubber tips that are the small earbuds. So that's actually going to be it for this one. I mentioned I'm going to have this a link for this in the description. It has the 10% off right now, so you can even get this for less than that, the $49.99. But you can always check back, because these actually change. It may be 10% now, and then down the road it's $10, and then maybe it's 20% off. So these things fluctuate with all of these. I've noticed that across all the different brands I've tested. But always look for a sale when it comes to these, in my opinion, because they usually have one. But if you have any questions on this, maybe there's something that I didn't actually answer in this video, let me know in the comments section and I will answer that for you there. If you like the video, hit the like button for me. If you want to continue to follow along with all my content, hit the subscribe button for me. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.